AITA for going on a pre-planned and paid-for vacation after my BF's father passed away. My BF, 30M, and I, 28F, have been dating for 4 years and have been living together for the past 18 months. Our lease is up at the end of this month and we were hoping to have purchased a house by now. But that didn't happen, so we decided to just renew our lease and keep the house hunt going. I've also had a very stressful year career-wise, so this fall a few friends and I booked a girls' trip to Mexico for a yoga, wellness retreat. We are leaving next Thursday and we are all really looking forward to it. The week before Thanksgiving, my BF's dad unexpectedly passed away. My BF immediately flew out to be with his mom and siblings. He ended up staying there for Thanksgiving instead of coming home, which I completely understand, due to the holiday and scheduling conflicts with other relatives. The funeral wasn't scheduled until the Friday after I leave for my trip. When he told me the date of the funeral, I reminded him that I would be gone. He asked if there was any way I could reschedule the trip or get a refund, and I told him I would look into it. But the trip was booked through a group rate and was 100% non-refundable. And none of my friends wanted to go through the hassle of rescheduling. Which sucks, but I get it. I saved a lot of money to take this trip and really need the escape. And if I cancel, I don't get the money back at all. I explained all of this to my BF and he asked me what I was going to do. I apologized and told him that I think I am going to go on the trip because I don't want that money to go away for nothing. All of this was over the phone because he was still with his family and he told me we would talk more when he got back. When he came home we talked more about it and I apologized so many times when I was explaining why I was still going on the trip. He seemed to understand and told me it was fine. But when I asked him when we were going to sign the papers to renew our lease because I want that done before I leave, he said he's not doing that anymore. He said that he came back to figure some things out at work and then he's flying back for the funeral and will be staying with his mom while they figure some things out. I asked him why he didn't talk to me about this first and he said that he's talking to me about it right now. He said his mom needs help so he's going to stay with her. I asked him what I am supposed to do about a place to live and he told me to figure it out with my friends on our vacation. I told him that he's putting me in a bad situation and that he seemed fine with me going on the trip and missing the funeral. He said he wasn't going to beg me to cancel my trip and that I made that decision on my own. So he's making this decision for himself. I told him he's being an and should have talked to me about this first. He said I'm the one who prioritized drinking on a beach over being at his dad's funeral. So if anyone is an here, it's me. YTA. Your partner of 4 years lost their parent. And you think it's more important to go on a vacation. You showed your priorities. They aren't your relationship. I don't want that money to go away for nothing. Do you see how you just said that your long-term boyfriend's father's funeral is nothing? YTA. YTA. Your boyfriend is going through what could possibly be one of the hardest times of his life. An unexpected death of a parent is absolutely horrifying and a devastating shock. He is clearly grieving. You're his partner and needs you right now. And instead you're taking a vacation. Trips can happen anytime. This is once in a lifetime tragedy. If you really love him, you'll be there for him. I can understand the pain of not wanting to lose $3,700. But you basically just showed your boyfriend that a vacation was more important than supporting him. He just lost his father. How the hell were you going to sit on a beach or yoga mat or whatever in Mexico and not feel like, gee, maybe I shouldn't be here right now because my boyfriend of 4 years just lost his father? Like, I don't get that lack of empathy at all. YTA. Enjoy your vacation. 'Cause you just threw away your relationship for it. YTA. Losing the money sucks. Losing your dad is worse. If you're not going to be there for him now, at one of the worst moments of his entire life, how can he ever trust you to be there for the hard stuff in the future? Why would he ever want to be in a relationship with someone who prioritizes a girl's trip over the death of his father? Your boyfriend is probably going to break up with you, and you're going to deserve it. Yeah, gonna go with YTA. It sucks to be out money. I get it, but the dude just lost his father and now you're calling him an AH for not wanting to renew the lease with someone who wasn't there to support him in his time of need. I wouldn't blame him for 1 second. Was the trip worth throwing your relationship over for? I sure hope so, 'cause that's what just happened. Info. Why didn't you go with your boyfriend to help provide emotional support in the first place? Is the trip just the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back? I explained all of this to my BF and he asked me what I was going to do. I apologized and told him that I think I am going to go on the trip. God. You didn't even ask him if he wanted you there with him before you decided? Because I don't want that money to go away for nothing. And called his father's funeral nothing. YTA. Info. So how much money was actually worth killing your relationship? What would you have been out if you decided to skip the trip? YTA. You chose the vacation over your relationship. And at this point your relationship is basically over. If you can't be there for your BF at this time, there is no point in you two being together any longer. YTA. You made your bed when you prioritized your vacation over your boyfriend. You shouldn't be surprised that he's prioritizing himself and his family over your housing concerns. This wasn't a short-term relationship, you guys were going to buy a house together. But when he really needed you, you cared more about yourself and your friends. In doing that, you showed him where he actually falls on your list of priorities. And it wasn't where he'd expected he'd land. So he made some decisions for himself. You added to his pain and hurt in a time that you should have been the person helping to prop him up. Dildo of consequences rarely arrives lubed. Did you honestly think this was going to go over well? YTA. Don't you have travel insurance? It may cover your losses. Otherwise you should just be a decent partner and suck up the loss. It's his father FFS. No wonder he's moving in with his mom and leaving you to get on with your life. YTA. I would crawl across broken glass to be there to support my partner at a parent's funeral. Let him go. You have shown him exactly how much you really care about him, and it's better to just let him go. Easily. He's got enough going on with grieving and supporting his family without you hassling him. Why were you even with him so long when you don't really love him? Thank God you guys didn't buy a house together. Yeah, your boyfriend of 4 years lost his father and all you care about is a trip. He is probably thanking his lucky stars he didn't buy a house with you. In your next relationship, do better. He realized you weren't marriageable material, which is the next step after dating so long and talking about buying a house. When you made the childish choice of taking a trip instead of being a real partner to him in probably the hardest thing he will go through. Sorry, but you were selfish. Trips and money come and go, but a real partner puts the needs of their partner first. He just made the smart decision and he did it without any drama. Kudos to him. YTA. You picked a vacation over support of your BF when his father passed away. Pretty much says what kind of priority you put on your relationship with him. Missing the vacation would suck, but apparently not as much as not having your BF. He is making the wise decision in not signing a lease with you and prioritizing himself and his family. Suggest you find someone who suits your life priorities better. He's right. You are not a good partner. You decided to abandon your boyfriend when he needed you most, so you could have fun with your friends. YTA. He obviously made the decision that you are not good enough for him. And I agree with him. Info. How would you have felt if your dad died and he just said, well, my friends and vacation are more important? I'm just going to leave this here. YTA. 4 years? Honestly, in his position I would not have argued with you either about you going on the trip. I wouldn't have the mental capacity to deal with a parent passing away on top of dealing with you. Money comes and goes. It sucks. But life doesn't really care about you and your plans. That man is in so much pain and you're on his case about putting him in a bad place. It looks like he already made the decision to let you go once you proved that you really don't care about him as much as money, time. This relationship is over.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.